Mr Tharman was wrapping up the three-day budget debate in Parliament. He said this year's budget is very much focused on helping small and medium enterprises and the middle-income group.
Mr Tharman Shanmugaratnam spent over an hour addressing the various issues raised by MPs. Many had expressed concern that the pace of restructuring here would force SMEs out of business. So the Deputy Prime Minister addressed that head-on, saying that in fact the move towards productivity started 3 years ago, so it shouldn't be a shock on businesses that they have to transform.
To be quite frank, we are making this next set of adjustments in full knowledge of the difficulties that businesses will face. But there is no choice. If we do not achieve momentum in the next 3 years, there's real risk that 3 years from now we will be in exactly the same position.
Mr Tharman pointed out that about two-thirds of the $5.3 billion three-year support program to help companies as they restructure will go to SMEs. And he listed several examples. For one, the wage credit scheme, where the government will pay 40% of the pay increase of Singaporean employees, earning up to a gross monthly wage of $4,000 for the next 3 years. Mr Tharman said two-thirds of Singaporeans in this income bracket are with SMEs. So he expects SMEs to have the full share of the scheme. The Manpower Ministry will also announce more measures to help SMEs attract and retain Singaporean workers. On calls by some MPs for a more progressive tax system, Mr Tharman pointed out that Singapore already has a highly progressive one. The highest income earners pay the most taxes, and those in the lowest income bracket actually pay negative income tax if benefits are taken into account.
We are not going for progressivity or redistribution for its own sake. We are designing and implementing policies that stand the best chance of sustaining economic dynamism and building a society that all Singaporeans can truly benefit from. That's the end objective, and we've got to keep that firmly in mind.
Mr Tharman said the government's target for quality growth is not just an economic but a social strategy, and he added that more will be done for social spending, for example, in the areas of education, housing and work support. He pointed to two groups among the low income that need help. Most are older Singaporeans above the age of 55 with very little education, and the younger group below the age of 35. For the middle income, he said the wage credit scheme was designed deliberately to include them. Going forward, he said this group will be a major beneficiary of the new healthcare financing framework. The key, he said, is in keeping the overall tax burden low.
We're helping them in home ownership, but main way is to help them grow their incomes and keep taxes low, keep the overall burden of taxes low, even as we unfortunately have to tax cars because of road congestion. Keep the overall burden low, minimal income tax, try to avoid GST going up, and try to keep the overall burden low in terms of all the other indirect taxes.
Parliament has approved Budget 2013 with a total of 59 MPs speaking during the debate.